Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Social You Should Know. Today we've got three exciting topics. And first, we are going to start with Twitter and some new interesting things they're doing with their data.
Yeah, Twitter is really trying to win this real-time marketing battle with Facebook. I think Twitter is clearly in the lead in my view, but to keep that lead, they are releasing a new product called Everyday Moments, which is available to marketers and in the UK initially. And what it lets you do is look at keywords overlaid on a map of the UK, and then you can look across the week and see how common is it for people to use certain words about their mood, happy or sad, or their destination, pub, health club, to predict when you should inject your brand into those real-time conversations.
Yeah, it seems like I'm sure something they've had access to for a while. It's just something they're allowing us to use now.
Yeah, more of an interface to pull this data more easily. And one of the articles in, I think, Media Post had was, if you took that data and not just looked at this tool, but really overlaid the big data to it and looked for patterns over time, is it an obvious one. Every Friday at 5 o'clock, the word pub increases, right? That's an obvious one. But what not so obvious nuggets are in that data? So it's not only real-time marketing, which is the buzzword du jour, but the next time marketing, I think, is the phrase they use, which is good. We know on Tuesday at 10 a.m. we see tired or we see whatever, and so we get a 5-hour energy tweet scheduled at the right time. So that's interesting. It just goes to the importance of data in marketing. It just keeps growing.
Yeah, I feel like if 1 minute is better than all the other minutes of the day, you'd want to pay to know when it is the perfect time.
Absolutely. I mean, that's if you get somebody, when they're hungry, if they've eaten 10 minutes later, and you sell food, you lost that sale. It doesn't come back.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's this kind of notion of, like you said, real-time marketing, which is, the Super Bowl's coming up. You can prepare Super Bowl content, Olympic content, World Cup content, but if something happens right now, or tends to happen at this time every day, then that's a whole other area.
Real-time marketing in some ways has been cheapened by the success of Oreo. It's like, in a lot of people's mind, it means, can a brand be funny about a current event? Okay, one angle, but we're talking about a whole different angle. Can a brand be relevant? Can I talk about an umbrella store that the local Walgreens sells umbrellas 10 minutes before it rains? That may be a lot more valuable than a funny Super Bowl tweet.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of data, Walmart has access to so much of it that they've actually suggested to a lot of their retail partners that they just buy their media for them.
Yeah. So Walmart has a new media buying exchange, and they've said not only will they use it, but they want to buy for their suppliers as well. So it's interesting, when I started in advertising, we were thrilled to be able to get sort of psychographic, sociographic data on our target audience. So do we know the guy we're trying to reach likes the Charlotte Hornets? Okay, that's a good insight. And that was cool and it's sophisticated. So far beyond that now to, is the cash register ringing right now for Crest toothpaste? Or is it not? And Walmart has that data. Are people talking about Crest toothpaste online? And Walmart has that data. And so can all that be factored into, where do we run the next digital display ad for Crest toothpaste to make that register ring more? And that's just a whole nother level of sophistication. And I think Walmart, so sort of killed Kmart by investing in computers and logistics in the 60s, and they're continuing down that sort of digital path. And with this sort of exchange, but to say to your suppliers, hey, let us buy your media for you. I don't know what the reaction to that was. I don't understand how the finances would work in that, but it's a very different way of thinking.
Yeah, and I feel like there's probably going to be a lot of hesitance to...
Sure.
Yeah.
Particularly among the media buying agencies for those suppliers.
Yeah, for sure. But if they're able to demonstrate that it works...
Right. And I imagine that's their pitch. I didn't hear the pitch, but I imagine they'd say, give us X dollars as a test, and if we perform better than where you're spending your other money, then give us more. And it may be that they perform better because they've got better data, or it may be also that they have better data about performance than the other dollars, and therefore they get more dollars. So even if it's not actually performing better, if this side can't prove they're performing and this side can prove they're performing, this side gets more money.
Absolutely. Speaking of performing well, and how it can actually be a bad thing, there was a blogger in France who wrote a negative review of a restaurant, and her post was performing so well in Google search results that the restaurant sued her, and the French court said that she had to change the title so that it wouldn't pop up in the Google searches.
Yes, she had to de-optimize her post, and it wasn't that her post was wrong. It wasn't that her post was even like crazy, vitriolic. It wasn't over the top. It was just successful, and the restaurant saying we're losing business because she wrote this, not because it wasn't true or anything else. And so that was amazing. And the blogger ultimately just took the post down. She said she didn't want to deal with the headache anymore. But they cited her level of influence, the fact that she had 3,000 followers, I don't remember on what network, to say this is an influential blogger and therefore she can be sort of punished for that influence, which couldn't happen in the United States with our little First Amendment that we trifle around with. But the fact that it happened in France is very interesting. And what happens if you are an American who writes an article about a French restaurant and you post it while you're in France, but you live in the U.S.? Like, I don't know. But it was a bizarre ruling.
Yeah, it's a topic that definitely deserves a little bit more discussion, and we are going to do so. If you keep an eye out, next week we're going to release a video where we discuss this topic in further detail. Well, that does it for this week. You can follow us on Twitter at IgniteSMA, and you can also subscribe to our email blast at IgniteSocialMedia.com.